Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for asking. How has your day been? How's the day going?
The day went well and it's going pretty well till now. What about
Wonderful. Yeah.
what about you? How's your day been going?
Well, my day has been fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. And it's been really, really great. And I'm looking forward for the rest of the day.
Okay, so was there anything special about your day or
But not really. Nothing special as in just a regular day, but I enjoy every single day. So it has been good.
okay? Would you
Well,
like to
how do you
tell
plan
me?
to spend? Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was
Please
telling
go ahead.
like it's our first time meeting together. So would you like to introduce tell something about yourself?
Sure, if you would love to know, I would love to tell. I'm Anushka.
Mhm.
I have completed my BTech in biotechnology in August last year, and it's been over a year that I'm with Clapingo, looking forward for my master's ahead this year.
Okay.
And what about you?
So surprisingly
I'm from
enough, even I
Maharashtra,
am.
by the way.
Yeah. Okay. Would you mind
Yeah,
sharing
go
where
ahead.
in Maharashtra?
Nagpur.
Okay.
Yeah.
So even
What
I am
about you?
doing BTech from computer
Mm-hmm.
science, and I would be graduating in a couple of months. And currently, I have
Wonderful.
secured a job at Wipro.
That's great. Congratulations on that. Well, what inspired or motivated you to take up computer science?
I don't know. I just like this field. I was interested in mathematics, so I thought this field would be really interesting. So I thought of joining this field.
Wonderful. Great. And what do you plan to do next? Like, will you be just working throughout, or be
So
planning for your masters or
currently I
anything?
don't have any plans. Yes, like you said, my current plan is just working. So and whatever will come next, I'll think about that later. I don't have really big plans like you said you're gonna do master. So I don't have plans like that. I'm gonna be just working.
All right, great. Have you gone through the session document for our conversation today?
I went through the topic. It was something like risk or something.
All right, well, that's an interesting topic. Would you like to talk about it?
Yeah, I would love to talk about it.
Let's begin with me asking you the first question. What is a risk, in your opinion?
Risk is something that gets a person out of their comfort zone. So different people have different levels of comfort zone. So whatever is outside of their comfort zone, whatever activity or whatever activity they are doing out of their comfort zone, basically a risk, I would say. What
All
is
right.
your thoughts on this?
Well, yes, a risk is a situation where we have 50-50 kind of possibilities
Hmm.
regarding everything turning out in our favor and everything going the other way around. So,
Hmm.
yeah, are you a risk taker?
But I am a risk taker, but like you said that there is a 50% chance of winning or losing, right? So, but there are some scenarios in which there is more than 50% chance of winning, like getting the work done. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if there is like a 70-30 chance, I would take that risk. Like people say a calculated risk,
Hmm.
I would take that.
Yes, so a calculated and educated risk is a must, I think, for people.
Mhm. Yeah, for if a person wants to grow in their career or in their life, they have to take risk at every levels in their life. That's what my opinion is.
Yeah. So, how do you decide on which risk to take and which risk to let go of?
Yeah, that's very interesting because like if the risk involves something very high in the sense something I won't be able to handle. If I don't be able to do that particular task, if I won't be able to handle the loss, then I would not take that risk. But if I think that I will be able to cope with if things don't go well, I would take that risk. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So see what my risk appetite is, and according to that, I will select.
All right. So, what inspires you to take a risk?
Like I said, if you want to grow in your career, in your life, you have to take small risk, whatever is your risk appetite, based on your ability to take risk, and even on your age. It depends. Like currently, we are in our early 20s, so we can take much more risk than people who are in their late 40s. Or like, understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So even if we fail at this
I do
stage,
understand.
we can get back on track.
Okay. Do you think like taking a risk or being a risk taker can shape a person's personality?
Yes, I think risk taking or shapes a person's personality because in today's age, what I perceive is that people who take risk have a, how do I put it? They have a, mm, they have greater personality than the person who is not taking risk. That's
Mhm.
what I think.
Okay. So, who do you look up to while taking a risk?
Uh, so currently, I look up to my dad because he has taken a lot of risk in his life. My dad is a businessman. As any businessman takes a lot of risk in their life. So I'm inspired by that. Like even though there are so many ups and downs in business, how to keep the family together, not get over emotional, and you know, not get carried away with what's happening in the business to keep your family aside and your business aside. I've learned a lot of things from him, and there are many people who I admire. There are many businessmen. There are many athletes.
Mhm. Great. So, like, could you name a few and why they inspire you? I'm sure that
So
different people inspire you with
in a different
different
way.
qualities of theirs.
Yeah. So you must be knowing about MS Dhoni, his story. Story
Yeah.
is really inspiring. How he was such a humble background. He had to work hard a lot, and then after that he reached the stage that he is in right now. So I admire MS Dhoni a lot. Then there are many people like. Do you watch YouTube? You know Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him. I
So
don't know about him. I just heard the
oh
name.
yeah. So when you go and check his story, even like there are some people who are just so they take very risks in their life. They take calculated risks and it finally pays off. So I admire those people who constantly take. So let's say suppose you took 10 risks, and if initial two you didn't succeed, so many people would give up at that time. But
Yeah.
the people who are great people, who people look upon, they don't give up at that time. They keep on
Hmm.
taking little bit more risk and then they achieve what it is. Otherwise, if we didn't take risk, everybody would be at the same level.
True. Yeah. Taking a risk does elevate us. It
Yeah,
because we are not the same person. I think after taking the risk, it
after
changes
taking
us
it, yes,
fundamentally.
yes, you learn about yourself so much. So like initially you would be saying that let's suppose you want to uh, learn something. So if like let's say you want to learn how to drive a car, many people by the scare, like they would be so scared they won't be able to learn. So they are not risking themselves. You understand? They're not risking themselves going on the road. This is a
Hmm.
very small example, I feel, but this is the model to almost every risk. There, there, there are side effects. That would be a correct word. So anything could go wrong. So people
Yeah.
focus more on that, and then they just don't take that risk.
True. They focus on the downsides more, the
Yeah,
upsides.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's
Absolutely.
happened with me also. Like even I sometimes people say that even I become very paranoid sometimes. Paranoid, like just constantly thinking what might go wrong instead of thinking how to achieve it. I have that
Mm-hmm.
habit a lot. What about you? Do you like, are you a very balanced person, or do you think on the either side a lot? Like, are you very optimistic or very pessimistic?
Well, this is a wonderful question that you have actually thrown in my court, and
Mm,
I would love to answer it now. At this point in life, I can say yes, I'm a balanced person.
mm,
I am not pessimistic at all,
mm.
but not over optimistic as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do have a balance, and that has come with experience and, in a way, self realization as to how things are. Because if it's good, it's not going to last forever. If it's bad,
mm.
it's not going to last forever. It will
Either,
just
yes,
be momentary, and that is all
momentary.
it can be. Plus, we can never ever understand a situation completely, just in the way we can never understand a person completely. The only thing we can do completely and consciously is
Mm,
experience the situation, experience people around us, experience the problems, and also the outcomes of them. So that is the thing we can do. Our past experiences help us to have a better future experience.
yes,
We keep that in our mind in the form of knowledge. That is good. Not to hang around a particular thing for too long is something I've learned, and I have put that into practice. And I'm happy. And whenever a situation or a risk happens, or when a situation is risky and you walk past it, maybe a risk pays off or it does not pay off. When you walk past it, you are a different person. So I
yeah, yeah,
think we
I
should embrace
agree,
that. Yeah.
agree, I agree.
Have you seen anyone around you or heard of anyone who has taken a risk and it did pay off pretty well?
Hmm. Okay, so let me think about that. I can mostly talk about people who have thrown a lot of money in their business and they worked really hard and it paid off.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen a couple of people in my area who had very humble
Mm-hmm.
beginnings. They took risks, they took huge loans, they worked tirelessly to, achieve their what the goals that they set. So finally it paid off. But some of them just slack off and nothing, no outcome is obtained from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how do you feel when you take a risk and it does not pay off as well?
Yeah,
What
so
goes through your
I
mind?
would be very honest. Like I can't handle losses. Like if I lose to something, I don't know how to handle it. I become very angry or very emotional. So yeah, if you can understand, many people don't understand it. People will say, "What are you talking about?" So
Yeah.
I, in all honesty, I would say I am learning how to handle losses, and still I'm learning. And yes, to small risks I take in my life every time.
Yeah. Well, it's incredible and very, very humble of you to accept that you are learning something.
Hmm.
It's a good thing. Like when we are learning and we can accept that we are learning, it
Yeah.
makes the learning process better and more bearable and
Hmm.
fruitful as well. So what happens to you like when you, and how long this stays? Because yes, everyone feels emotional, everyone feels angry, a little agitated at times when things
Yeah.
don't go our way. But for how long do you hang on to that feeling? Is it like a couple of days, a couple of weeks, months?
Momentarily, you know, I don't keep because I know that I am, I know that it's not the right way to go about things. Just being angry or being frustrated on yourself. Just I tell myself that yes, you will make mistakes and you will lose sometimes, so, and everything won't go uh, as expected. So I tell myself and I move on. I don't hold on it for a long time.
Well, that's a good thing. Then what part of it are you finding difficult to cope up with?
So I am not completely, I'm just in that phase. I have not completely come out of that phase. So yes, that's what it is.
Well, whereas on the other hand of my initial question, that have you seen anyone who took tremendous risk and it did not pay off? and they had to suffer great losses.
Okay. I can't remember of anybody. Do you know someone of in your surroundings who has taken a risk and it did not pay off?
Mm, it depends. There are multiple types of risks that people take. In a while, risks kind of turn out to be neutral. They neutralize after a while.
Mm.
What are how do you classify risks? Like personal, professional, and all those. How do you personally classify them?
So I classify risk in terms of whether you physical something involving physical, like you might get hurt, you might get injured, and there would be another type of risk where you might lose money. That would be on the financial side of it. On the other hand, there might be some risk of losing some time, but these two would be the most major, I think, money or health wise, because every risk involves these two things, I think.
Okay. What are the kind of risks you would never want to take?
Mhm.
Like no matter what, in no situation, I would never risk this particular thing. It could
I
be
don't know.
anything tangible or intangible.
I guess death, if something involves, it might take your death. I would not take that risk. That would be one thing. And if there is something that involves huge financial loss, you know, like you might be bankrupt, like gambling. I
Mhm.
won't involve myself into gambling because that path is very dangerous. I've heard from a lot of people that you hear stories like people put their houses on stake, they
Yeah,
put
yeah,
their whatnot. There are crazy stories that happen in this field. So,
absolutely.
so
There are
that
such
would be.
things. Well, when we are talking about risk, there is one thing that just crossed my mind and that's adventure sports. They are
Yeah,
quite risky for sure. Would you
yeah,
ever
okay.
have you ever tried any? Would you ever like to try any?
I would like to try some adventure sports, not all. Honestly, I would say. So there's river rafting. I would really love to try river rafting, and there are
All
other.
right.
So some I would try and some I would not try.
Which you
I guess
won't.
so. Then there's uh, one in which they tie you with a rope and then they throw you. Have you seen
Bungee
that?
jumping?
Bungee jumping. Yeah, I would not try that.